Okay, so here I'm with Goji, and okay, something that I want to talk about real quick is just learning to communicate correctly with your dog. So, one of the things that we see, well, part of communication is also making sure that your dog understands what you're asking them to do. So when it comes to the obedience, it's have you taught your dog what you're asking them to do, right? And then the other side is how you are, again, communicating what you've taught, right? So here I already had her Goji, get on the cot, have her sit, have her stay, and then have her lay down, right? And then now I'm gonna communicate that she can be released. So I think really part of your communication has to be controlling yourself, right? Controlling yourself. Look, I'm actually able to get her to do all of these things right now without talking. Without talking to her. Right? So, not using so many words, and then not using words that your dog doesn't understand, right? And part of this, the reason why this is working right now is obviously, yes, she's been taught and we put the reps in, but she's obviously engaged with me and she's paying attention. So you have to learn how to keep your dog engaged with you. You have to learn how to make sure that they're paying attention to you, that you've almost become the center of their world. You're gonna have a big problem if you let them just run around, do whatever they want, be really wild, and not understand how to go through you to get things, right? And that's gonna almost be the foundation for teaching your dog how to take direction from you. Right now she's taking direction from me, but that's because our relationship has been conditioned in that manner. Okay, so, but part of your communication, again, you need to be under control, right? So don't be throwing out too many words. So here, not paying attention to me, right? I'm gonna wait. Notice that I waited until she looked at me, or like I used my sit hand signal. I went a little lower to kind of grab her attention, grab her eye focus, and then she looked at me, and then she was able to listen, right? So again, another big part of communicating with your dog is, again, not the engagement portion, but make sure they're paying attention. So yes, I mean, maybe engagement and paying attention are the same thing and sort of go hand in hand, but don't be telling them to do anything if they're not paying attention to you. Eventually, like through our program, we're going to get to the point where, sure, the dog can be distracted and not necessarily paying attention, but they're keeping an ear out and listening for you. And that in itself is almost a skill it is a skill that needs to be developed. You need to develop your dog's ability to be distracted and then focus on you, right? But the first part is learning how to just keep your dog's focus, right? This is 6-foot leash obedience training here. We're not where we leave off is we're going to be working on our 20 and 30-foot long lines, but you're not there yet. So learning how to communicate here by keeping your dog engaged with you, being in control of yourself. What we've seen here so far, again, is that she's able to perform these commands without the actual verbal. So dogs are much more visual creatures when taking direction than anything, okay? So again, the reason why your dog might not be listening to you is you're relying too much on verbal, and you haven't really developed your verbal understanding yet at all. So maybe what might help you is making sure to incorporate your hand signals with your verbal every time, right? So your verbal should get her attention or get their attention, and then you can give the hand signal, okay? So maybe something like this, Goji, okay. All right, so she was a little early there, but the point was I called her name, she paid attention, I gave her direction, right? Up. Good girl. So let's try again right here. I'll wait for her to get distracted. Goji, Goji, down. There, right? So even in just taking a second to call their name and ask for their attention, then give command. Instead of just being like down, down, down. So let me show you what not to do. Okay, she's gonna do it, but you're not gonna be doing this. Koji, Koji, down, 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 down. You're not gonna do that, okay? You're gonna do this. Koji, up, sit, down. You're gonna be in control of yourself. You're gonna be in control of your words. You're gonna be in control, okay? So, okay. This isn't about the leash right now. So it's one command at a time. Give the dog the direction, let them either do it or don't do it, and then you can follow through or back it up again somehow, then move on to the next one, right? So like really understanding that getting Goji to come up here and lay down was a multi-step process. She had to know how to get on. She had to know how to sit. She had to know how to hold the sit. Then she had to know how to lay down and then hold that down until release. So it's you're asking multiple steps from the dog, okay? Okay, so if you can kind of break it down like that and understand that I need to hit each level up. So up is first, sit, sit. Sit is second. Holding that sit is third, okay? And then down, then the down. So when you can break it up step by step like that, your dog clearly understands what you want. Clear, okay? So all of this is really breaking down and having an understanding on how to be clear with your dog on what you're wanting, okay? So obviously, again, each one of these was taught, but I'm talking about giving the direction. So this is pertaining to someone who already has the obedience developed in their dog, okay? But if you were developing it yourself, you still develop each one. So engagement, paying attention, giving direction, good girl, giving direction, being very clear with that direction in a controlled manner, down, down, okay, and then, okay. So one real quick thing here. What we teach is, directional pressure. So if we were to guide her down on the leash, she's gonna lay down. So that should alleviate, okay, us having to say down 8 times. So notice that I've said it twice and she's been doing it, but that's my limit. So I'm not gonna be saying down 8 times, even in a controlled manner, right? So I was saying be controlled, don't say down, 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 down. I still wouldn't say down, 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 down. No, I'm gonna give her 2 opportunities. If she doesn't, then I'll guide her with the leash, right? And that's really how you're gonna develop her listening quicker, paired with as she listens and follows through and does it correctly, you're gonna give some type of reward also. So whether that's attention and affection in a good girl, whether that's a food reward, whether that's now you can play with the ball or something like that. Again, you've now developed a clear understanding of, wow, the faster I listen, the faster I get whatever I want. And if I don't listen, they have a way for me to follow through, or a way to follow through to get what they're wanting. And so now you can develop the understanding that listening is a better thing for her, right? Because either way, we're gonna be able to get her to lay down, either way. It's just we're wanting her to do it on her own. We're wanting cooperation in her ability to listen to us, which in return is gonna get her everything that she wants. Okay. So that's just really kind of understanding communication better. And again, this is pertaining right now to just obedience and on-leash skills. But if your dog doesn't listen to you here with this, you're not gonna be able to work on bigger things, bigger behavior problems, or bigger, or developing other understandings of self-control and patience around the door, or being able to take them out in public and all of that, if you can't give correct direction, because you're gonna be giving direction in each one of those situations or scenarios. Again, the only consistent in everything is always you. So no matter where you are, no matter the time, the place, whatever, the only consistent is us. So that direction and that understanding of, again, the engagement and the control on yourself and your ability to give direction is always going to be consistent. Okay, so it starts here first, in the skills. Again, this is developing skills between her and I here. Her ability to actually take directions, like my ability to give direction, her ability to take direction. You know, those are skills that are taught. So, you know, a lot of this, again, is pertaining for people that are still having problems with getting their dog to listen to them. So the dog has the skills, they've been trained, but they don't listen to you, right? And it's like, again, don't expect to be able to control your dog or calm them down or work on any bigger, greater problems if you can't get this from them. You're going to see 50% of all your other problems fade away and get so much better if your dog listens to you, right? So you have to put focus on, again, what they've been taught first and develop this understanding of sort of, again, listening is a good thing. If I don't listen, their ability to guide me and get me to do it is there. You have to get that first. Then you can now implement this places. You can implement this with the front door. You can implement this with guests coming over. You can implement this with you're trying to eat dinner and your dog is begging and bothering or whatever it might be, right? You can implement this with boundaries at the gate or the front door or whatever it is. So now, again, you can do totally none of this and still work on those other issues. It's just going to be another technique there. Okay, it's going to be another way of teaching. You're going to be a little bit pushier with your dog. You're going to be using your body a lot more. You're going to be controlling space. You're going to be controlling resources. So I think those things are all very, very important. But when you fuse it all together, you teach your dog language and skills, and then you still work on those other areas, you're going to have a great dog. The problem is when you want to pick and choose. I want this, but I don't care for that one. I don't really understand why I would teach my dog how to lay down and stay over here, but yet I want my dog to not bother me when I'm eating food. Why would I teach my dog to lay down and stay, or the stay is very poor around the tennis ball, but my dog wants to attack everybody who's coming inside the house. Got to fuse them all together. It's all connected, right? Okay.